Hi everyone, welcome back to Basically Baking. This week, or this month I should say, we are making apple turnovers. This is a dish that I really like, and I usually buy them like pre-made because I've always been too scared to try it. But we're gonna go on an adventure today and try making them together. I am very excited because I'm taking this to a friend's house tonight. So let's get started and I'll show you what you need because this does seem like a very simple recipe. So fingers crossed, both make it through it together. All right, so very simple ingredients you're gonna need. You're gonna need puff pastry. You need to thaw it according to the package directions. Because it takes a while to thaw, I'm gonna get everything else ready. And then by the time I'm done getting everything else ready, it should be completely thawed and we can use it. Next thing you wanna do is you usually want 3 Granny Smith apples, medium size. Mine are kind of smaller, so I am gonna use 4. That's also because I just love apples flavor. And then this is a mixture you're gonna put in with the apples as you're cooking it. I will tell you, it is 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/8 teaspoon of salt. And they need 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter. You don't want salted, unsalted butter. All right, so while that thaws and my oven is preheating at 400, I'm gonna peel, core, and dice up the apples. So let's do that. All right. So I have my apples here. I took off the stickers. First thing I'm gonna do is wash and then peel them, and then we're gonna chop them up. So let's get them washed and peeled. All right, I got them peeled here, and I got them washed. They look all good. Next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna core them and then cut them into about 1/3 inch cubes. With coring, if you have a corer, that is fantastic. I do not, so I'm just using my little paring knife here, and I'm also gonna use the same thing to chop them up. All right, let's do it. All right, they're all cut up, just the size about wanting to be. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, kind of guesstimate. I've kind of learned the measurements over time. So now that I have these cut up, I'm gonna head over to the stove so we can get them cooking before we stuff them in the puff pastry. Let's do it. All right, we are at the stove. I'm gonna turn on it to about medium heat, which is exactly what you want. You can see I don't have that big of a pot here. About medium size is what you want. First thing you do is you can take your 1 tablespoon of butter. You're gonna unwrap it. Mine's still wrapped. If yours is already unwrapped, then you're 1 step ahead of me. And you're gonna put it in there and you're gonna let it melt. Since we are stirring this, I'm using a rubber spatula. And to get it to melt quicker, I'm just gonna do this. Kind of spread it along the pot. All right. There you go, it is melted. And now we are gonna add our apples, just about a handful at a time, or 2 handfuls, I guess I should say. Ooh, careful with splashing. Keep your hands off a little bit. And then we're just gonna mix this a little. Try to get it coated with that butter. Okay, you wanna keep cooking this until they are softened. So kinda just keep stirring it. You want them to be soft before adding our brown sugar mixture here. All right, I'm gonna get you guys back when I'm ready to add the brown sugar. All right, these are finally soft enough. You can see it's kind of boiling, the butter at the bottom at this point. The apples are softened. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn this down to low. And then I'm gonna add in my brown sugar mixture. Just like that. And what you want, your goal with this is you want the apples to be even more softened, and you want the apples to be kind of caramelized with the brown sugar and mixture. So it's gonna take around probably like 3 to 5 minutes. Once that is completely done being caramelized, you are gonna take it off the stove and cool it. All right, it's mixed together. I'm gonna let it sit for a little bit. I'll be back when it's time to get the puff pastry ready. All right, my apples are done cooking. They're on the stove cooling. So now I'm gonna move over to our puff pastry. It looks amazing. I'm gonna get paper out of it and we're gonna lay it. As you can see, I've floured my surface already. You wanna do that. And we're gonna lay it down, get a rolling pin, and you wanna roll it as flat as you can. All right, I'm gonna finish rolling this out and then I'll show you how it's supposed to look. All right, we got it all rolled out. It is perfectly flat now. I'm gonna do the same thing with the second one, but before I do that, I wanna make sure I have my pizza cutter here. I'm gonna cut it right down the middle, lengthwise, and then widthwise. I'm gonna cut it just like that. All right, I'm gonna do the second one, then we're gonna move into the baking sheets, and then we're gonna get the apples in them. All right, let's do it. All right, I just finished rolling out both puff pastries. They are now on their baking sheets, which is perfect. This is just where I need them to be. I have my apples here all cooled. I can't speak, I am so sorry. Cooled down. And then I made up a quick egg wash. It is just one egg with a little bit of water, and then I whisk it together. So that is ready to go. This is how you are going to assemble your turnovers. I think I'm gonna do it this way. So you want it in a corner, just like this. Ooh, it's running away from me. All right. There's that. I want to spread them out just a little bit so they get an apple in about every bite. A little bit more. I have plenty of apples. All right. As you see, I'm just using a spoon to get all my apples put together. And then you're supposed to have a brush. Of course, I don't have one. I have to go get one. So I'm going to use just a paper towel. I'm going to dip it in my egg wash and then just apply it gently to the edges here. Want to make sure you don't get any apples in there. All right. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the other side, you're going to fold it over like so. You want to get those sides together. All right, then you're going to take a fork and just pinch it together like so. And you have your first turnover. They look really good, a lot better than I was expecting. So that's a good thing. I'm gonna make the rest of them, and then I'm gonna show you what you do before you put them in the oven. All right, I got both trays fully done. Very proud of myself. All right, next thing you can do before you put these in the oven, you wanna make some little slits in the puff pastry, maybe. There we go. About 3. And you can make a cute little design if you want. I'm just gonna kind of do it traditional, I guess you could say. After that, because you still have egg wash left, you're gonna take your egg wash and you're gonna brush it over the top, just like so. And then you're gonna put these in the oven at 400 for 20 to 23 minutes until it's nice and puffed up in gold and brown. So I will see you when these are ready. All right, they're out of the oven and they look so, so beautiful. Sorry, my stand's being weird. I'm trying to hold it still. Last thing you're gonna do is you're gonna wanna get ½ cup whipping cream and about 2 teaspoons of powdered sugar. All right, I got my whipped cream mixture. I did just add like a little dash of vanilla in there. You do not want this whipped cream, you just want it to be kind of like a glaze. And I got to the perfect consistency that I want. And then you're just gonna drizzle it over your apple turnovers. There you go. You just made wonderful apple turnovers. All right, you just made turnovers, as I just said. I really enjoyed this episode. It was something new, something different for me, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. This was inspired by Snow White. I realized I had never made something with apples for you guys, so I was like, let's do it. So if you want another Disney princess inspired episode, let me know in the comments, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys next time. Bye.